Welcome to Hero of the Galactic Core. This is the main screen of the game. It is an RPG very similar to King's Bounty. The differences are that it's real time in its fighting, and the base is handled by a tower defense mode, so for your own base tower defense, and for the enemy's base you get a tower attack. So you'll be sending the drones in those particular cases. The important things to note on this main screen is first of all the background. I can change the background to 4 different types. So it's really up to your preference as to what you see on the background. I'll just leave it on the default one for the moment. You do have some instructions here, and this can give you a bit of an insight on what some of the components are in the game and how you can take advantage of them. Training, there is a training module. It's kind of hit and miss. It may actually fail if you go through it too fast. So that's why I'm doing this video. Top right hand side, these are really the frame that the game is played in, most of the game. So you can change the type of look. So glass is obviously kind of see-through, multicolored, blue, and so on. And clouds are just really the clouds around the asteroids. So you can change those colors. At the bottom right, you can see we have our missions. In this case, you can see that we have 7 maps in the mission, and I've actually completed all 7 of them. So when I hover over mission 1, it gives me the ability to go to the next one. There are 2 things you need to complete to be able to go to the second mission. Not only do you need to complete all 7 maps, you also need to get at least 5 stars. You get a star for every 3 stars you get in completing the map. And you can see this one here I've actually missed out, but it doesn't matter because I've got the other 6 I've got 3 stars in. And the way to ensure that you get 3 stars is in relation to your structure. So here, I can't see it now that I've popped off, but in that area that you can see now, you've got a structure of 1418. So that is your current base structure, and that's what you start with in each level. To get 3 stars, I need to complete that level with at least 870 structure left. So that's the amount of damage I can take before I start dropping to a 2 or 1 star. So it's very important to keep track of that, because as you can see, 3 stars is now 890 on this one, and now 910. So there are upgrades that you can upgrade the actual base values, so you can keep well ahead of that. And you can even drop below the 910 and upgrade back up over it within the same game. So you can still achieve 3 stars if you've dropped below it. The other important thing here, obviously you got your score, but the turret, this is your default turret. You get this at the beginning. You do have to build it, of course. And looking at this, you can see we've got values, and every time you clear a map, you will have a certain amount of to spend on these values at the moment, and it's depicted by these 2 here. So it's good to keep these going up in the damage rate and speed initially in any case. The other important things are that they can also, your default one can also have artifacts. This is your global artifact. This affects everything. So in this particular case, it increases all 3 artifacts in active mode. So these are the game artifacts, which is different to these ones here, but I'll show you those shortly. These 2 artifacts are very specific to the tower itself. So for example, in this one, all turrets in a 300 radius gain damage. So any turret that, or any tower you put that is close to this one in game, will get a bonus. And the other artifact that's affecting this is that this turret will have an additional laser. So instead of just shooting 1 bolt, it'll shoot 2. Okay, so that's your main turret. Now we'll go into a game and it will select the first map in this particular case. We start off with the bonus that you can pick. In this particular case I'll do experience. Before I start flying around, you can see I can fly around and I'll bounce off the asteroids. You don't worry, no damages happen, so you don't have to be precise. On the left here you'll see the 3 artifacts. These are the artifacts I was talking about, the global turret artifact effects. So at the moment you can see these, apart from this one here is active. So it has the bottom value. If it's inactive, it has the top value. And the top value is a lower set, that it still has an impact in your game, but a lower impact than when it's active. So if I turn this active, you can see that's higher. And this first one is for fleet. So when you're in fleet battles, it impacts your whole fleet. Obviously, in this particular case, it will increase their firepower by 5 and their hull, or their structure, by 11. And the lower option in the turret one, now this one affects your base and your turrets or your towers. In its dormant phase, this one is 3 to your tower fire and 4 to your main fire. Now that's your main base, has its own turret. Again, that's lower than if I make this active, which is 8 and 6. The bottom one is for your drones, and these are your attack waves. So in this particular case, the hull has got 3 additional points to it, and the speed has 1 additional point. And you'll notice that when I select this as the active, the drone hull goes up, but the drone speed doesn't. So you may find that a few artifacts are closely aligned when it comes to their inactive and active states, and those are the most valuable ones, because that means that in their inactive state they're almost as powerful as their active. It allows you to use the other 2 more predominantly. In this particular case I'm going to leave it on fleet, because I won't be attacked for a while. Now talking about the base, I right click and that's my base there. You can see it's a level 16 base, structure of 1418 as we saw before we went into the game, and that's way above the 3-star level, and also the turret does about 120 damage. And on the left here, these are all the turrets you can find. So you can actually have 6 turrets in total. You get your default one, which I'm going to build. It costs 5 units. These are your material units. And on the right side is the completion build. So when I click it here, it gives me some options as to where I want to build that particular tower. And I also can show the path of the attack waves to work out which one I might want to put that on. And that's my default one. The default one is red and all the others are blue. Okay, so that's enough for the main screen. You'll see here though we've got the enemy base on, and we have a view of that, and we can zoom out as well. This is quite handy to see if your drones are actually penetrating or not. On the right hand side you have a view of where your current fleet is. So if I right click it, then the view will center around that. While it's there, the enemy fleets can't actually see you, so you're actually protected while you're in this mode. So if you're about or getting too close to an enemy fleet, this is the moving enemy fleet, or the locator bomb, which we won't see in this map, then you can hide basically. Even though you can see your ship, they can't see you when you're in this mode. So I've just right clicked again, and there are quite a few goodies to pick up. There's some materials there, and that's experience. Also gives me a shield, and that's a shield for the drones. More materials. This here's a jump point, and the 12 represents the materials I need to pay to activate it, which I have done. I won't do anything at this point until I find the other jump point and activate that in which case you'll be able to jump between the two. Now the most important thing here is your home base, and this is the way you get to it. And here is my fleet build menu. So I'm just going to buy in those materials as well. And this is the countdown for your production line, as well as your materials. If you've got any upgrades in the material upgrade options, then you'll also get those materials at that time as well. So you've got cost per unit and number of units that you can build. So these are the number of units available down the bottom, and these are what you have. So you've even got one other unit that's not available to build. So just upgrade these. Okay, one of the things I need to set straight away is the fleet mode. So if I click on fleet, on the left it just gives you a readout of how many you can build currently, and you can increase these. Yeah, there is a kind of a pickup that allows you to increase your capacity as you go on. So you can, the upgrades can change the damage and also the structure as well of each type. In this case I've only got the first two. You can have 26 and 16 as a maximum, so I'm pretty close to maximum, especially on the second one. And on the right side we have our fleet configuration. Now when you're in fleet mode you have these bonuses and you can upgrade these. You'll notice you can have, for most of them, it's an increase of shields of 13% and damage of about 1.5%. The middle one, shield is pretty low, which is 3%, and damage is up quite a bit more, about twice the amount, but it also has a longer range. So this is your important one in here. And this blue one is your command. You can't have your fleet mode unless you've got one in the command slot. And these are the only ones that can go in that command slot, hence same colour. These ones can go anywhere else as well, but you have to at least have one of these in the command spot. So that's where I'm going to put it first. So I left click on that one and left click on the command spot. That's it. So to be complete, you can notice the set hasn't come up yet. That means I haven't got enough in here to do a fleet mode. So now I'll select this one, and that has to be one of these. So I'll put it in the middle because that gives the longer range, and I can now set it. And I just close that out. Okay, I'll put that one into max, and remember that has 16 as its maximum, and that one is 26. So now I've finished. You can also buy dropships here, which is your drone wave attack on the base. You can only do that once you find the dropship point. So these are dropships. So I've got one initially as per default at the beginning. I'll buy another. Oh no, I don't have enough materials. But once I've got 15 materials, I can buy another one, and it's up to 3 max. So now I'm going to launch. Come back again. So there's some pickups here, some materials, and the other one was an upgrade to the tower, the any towers you pick up. But it won't show up on your default one. It'll never be here on the blue ones. You can upgrade the level. You'll notice I just got a fleet bonus here. So there's some map bonuses as you progress through. If you survive long enough, these bonuses will help you as you go through. So this one here gives me a fleet bonus. This one here gives my main base an EMP, so that's the main cannon. Now we've managed to slow any drone it hits in defense. It'll slow it down for a period of time. So that one's quite handy. And also there's a tower bonus as well. Okay, and this is an interesting one up here. This is actually an artifact. So what I do is go up to it, and there's an artifact in the middle of this ship. So I'll just pick that up. And you'll see it came over here. So it'll be one of these three. In this particular case, it's the tower and main fire, so it's your main base one. But it's pretty low in value because this is the first map, and I've already done quite a lot of maps. If I wanted to change it, I'd use this button, but I'm not. Instead, I'm going to sell it for materials. This is a fleet here. I'm going to attack this fleet now, so what I have to do is run into it. Oh! In this particular case, I didn't have to attack it because I've got diplomacy, and that actually worked. So those ships actually joined my fleet. This pickup here is actually a fleet pickup. I'll pick it up now. And what that's done is it's given me an additional ship now that I can build and also add to my fleet. I'm going to increase that. Now to add that to the fleet, I just cancel current. You'll see all three are there now. I'm still going to use that one as the command. I'm still going to use that one as the main long distance one. And now I'm going to add this one in the back. See that. Just going to have a look around. Over here, I just picked up shield for drones, so there's a few of those, and you'll use them later on. If I go to the right, you'll see I've got a menu here. So these are for the upgrades. At the moment I'm max because I've gone back quite a number of max. But as this gets to the top, you'll get a number, or you'll get an upgrade. So you can see the first set is all about your fleet. So it's best to just have a look through these. Like fleet formation is the fleet configuration, and that's the how much shield, how much structure bonus you get. So you can increase that. Turret is that's a turret that your main fleet ship has that you don't have any control over, but will fire from time to time, and that just increases its damage. So that's kind of a bonus when you're fighting other fleets. And if I click this arrow, you'll find that there's a whole lot of tower ones, and also the main structure. So this is the one you use to increase your main base's structure. And also its turret, you can increase the damage there as well. For the last set, you've got your drones, which of course is your attack waves on the enemy base, and also materials. So the more you increase this, the more materials you get when your production is ready. Artifact slot, so I've got all of those, so that's probably the first thing you'll do, is make sure you've got all your slots, because you only start with one otherwise. And that's the other way to get there. And diplomacy, as you can see, I've got +6, which is why they joined me just now. This one's an interesting one. That's kind of like a little fleet builder. So whatever you have in your production line, this will give you a small amount of each if you stand just slightly away. You can see that gave me a few. Probably. Oh! Now that's a fleet that it's a bit sneaky. It hides and tries to zap you in at the last minute. So I'm going to go hit this fleet mode, and you will see they all join into a fleet. This is my command, so I'll just click on it. That gives me control of the fleet, so I can maneuver around. And this is a builder, so you really have to. I'll deploy here. In fleet mode, these auto target and fire. So I took care of that pretty quickly because it's slower. That was a drone type I just picked up there. really need to get some more turrets. Didn't take any damage enough. This one here is a resource station. You have to fight the fleet. Again, I'll put fleet mode. Click on the command so that I gain control of the fleet. Now I can't take damage by fire when I'm in fleet mode. Of course I will once I deploy. Okay, so I'm going to come up here because this one's the longest range ship in the enemy fleet, and I really need to take that out up close. Which means this one in the middle now is the longest range. And that there was a captured ship type, and that gets added to my fleet, possibly only temporarily. Depends on whether I'm near maximum capacity or not. Okay, so now that will start building materials for me. It will increase my speed of material recovery. Now I've got maximum at the moment. You can see I'm under attack here. See here we've got, it's firing 2 different shots because of that artifact, special artifact that it's got. And that's the turret there. You can also see over here your base. You can see if it's under attack, and you can actually pick up bombs and drop it in that screen. Let's make sure we've got now when this has gathered enough resources and I go close enough to it, it'll actually give it to me. Okay, so now I'm attacking this one. This direction this is pointing directly at the enemy fleet, so you know where they're coming from. Some of the maps later on is quite large. And you can see now I've got the EMP on the main base. Now I can see there's a tower over there, so I'm going to attack this one so I can get that tower. My formation there. There's the enemy fleets here, so you can see how you're progressing against their numbers. And there we go, we've got a new tower. We go in here, build this tower. Now place it there. Do those upgrades that I've found previously. And maybe as well. Up that drone. And those are drop points, but they're the enemy ones, so I can't use those. And that's the enemy fleet. And I right click so he doesn't see me. It's a black hole there. I've got a stellar bomb. Another tower. Build that. I'm right clicking to get the screen. And there's another tower. Another artifact. That's not going to be particularly useful. So if I go into the black hole, it basically just takes me back to the start and I lose a certain amount of materials. I've got all maximum number of fleet here, so I can't. Oh, just took a hit. So one of the other things I'm going to get here is an EMP for the turret, which this fleet is protection, so I'll just get rid of it. I can do a fast kill here, but this is the percentage down here tells me how much of the fleet I'll lose. And sometimes it's at 100%. So I just picked up an EMP, so I'm going to put it to there. You can see it now working. That permanently slows down the drone, but it won't retarget another drone until that drone has been destroyed. I think I'll upgrade. Got some good defense, but you can see I've taken some damage there already. It's going to be sneaky. I'll draw that into the fire range no longer. Oops. I'm just going to try and find, first of all, the jump point. The jump point, the second jump point, is usually pretty close to where the drop ships or the dropship points are. Past him again. There's another fleet. This one, one's jumped up and caught me out again. And I have to actually get to that fleet. I can't let them come to me because he will just keep building them. In the first levels, there's not that many to fight as far as his fleet is concerned. But later on, it can pretty much overrun you. Some more of him. Okay, so we've got another tower. And now I can jump between the 2 points, so I can come back here now. And I can add these new ones in. Change the fleet configuration. Now I'm going to use this one. Control. That one in the middle. Now, I haven't got any this particular type build yet, and it's too far away to be able to wait for it. So let's see if I can get them from one of the smaller. Here we go. Should be okay. Yep. I don't need to go the wrong way anymore. I've got jump points. There we go. And the air fleet's attacking me, so air fleet does have a certain number of advantages. You'll see them as we're playing. Additional firepower, and also increase the number of ships they have. That one. Pretty low. Right, there's the jump points. So now I can actually start attacking the base itself. Now notice the main fleet, the enemy fleet, went underneath me just now. That's because I successfully defeated him, and it will take a while before he can rebuild his fleet, so he won't engage me during that time. He just did it again. Right, so you can see here I've got another panel for my drones that I can attack the enemy base. this here is what's available on my drone list, the speed and the hull of them, and I can add shields to it as well. And the wave at the moment is 0, so I need to choose one first. But to choose one, I'm going to start with the weakest and just put 1 on there. I won't put any shields on this one. And then from there I'm going to go to the strongest one, which is the third. You actually have 4 that you can have. I haven't found the 4th one. You can see the speed is a little bit lower, but its hull is much stronger. So I'm going to add that to the second wave and add some shields within that wave. This is the cost of each wave. You can see this is my materials, and they'll go down every time I click this. And I'm going to put more shields on that wave. 4th wave. Now I've run out of shields, so I didn't pick up enough shields, but that's fine. It just means that the second, third and 4th wave on this one should have some. You should have some shields in there. Some of the drones. Now I notice over here I'm under attack, so I can pick up this stellar bomb and drop it in the screen. You can see it dropping down, and there you go. So that will affect pretty much all the drones. Will do continuous damage. Coming back to our dropship, you can have 5 waves total. Again, no shields left, and you can see it says max. So, and if I click this button here, that'll start the wave and I'll pop out. But there's also a second one. Now I didn't buy another. Problem. Buy another dropship. So I prefer to have 2 waves attacking at the same time. Buy another one. Jump back. Now I can just go straight to the strongest one. Oh, there's enough. So I'll go to the weakest to fill it out a bit. Waves. Oh, looks like I finished the attack, and you can see I got 3 stars for it and 11 of these materials. So if I click here, if I hadn't done this already, I may have actually got a new ability in here for the turret. And I've got 2 here, sitting here from previous ones that I've assigned. I could sell them, but I'm actually holding them for the moment. So now I can distribute these onto these upgrades. So I'm going to put 1 lot on speed. I haven't done any range, so I may put a couple in there now. 1 in damage and 1 in range. So it costs 2 of each materials for each upgrade. So you can see it's all blacked out now. I can't assign anymore. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching this tutorial.